Hey, everybody. This is Demia Avery of the Demia Avery Show. So, as you guys know, Cassie hit the stand today, and y'all, I am just worn out of all the reports of what happened today. It was just an absolute mess. But for those who haven't heard, the reports say that on the second day of the Diddy Combs federal SMEX trafficking trial, Cassie Ventura gave herring testimony detailing years of alleged abuse, including being coerced into degrading sexual encounters referred to as freak-offs, even while menstruating. And again, if you have kids around you, I advise you to not listen to this while kids are around. It's of sensitive natures. So, Ventura, who filed a civil lawsuit against Combs in 2023 that was settled within 24 hours, testified in the criminal case where Combs faces charges of sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He has he has pleaded not guilty. In front of a packed courtroom, Ventura recounted how she expected to participate in these freak-offs at Combs' request, even during her period, something she said left blood on furniture. This is so crazy. She also described an encounter where an escort was allegedly instructed by Combs to do the number one on her for his arousal. Combs himself also did the number one on her during the same incident, while the escort number one in her mouth, Ventura testified. So disgusting. I just felt humiliated. It was disgusting. It was too much, Ventura said. I choked. I didn't want to be doing that. I was in a position I couldn't easily get out of. I eventually put my hands up, and Sean saw and told him to stop. I was choking. Too much urine in my mouth. So Sean did the number one on me at the same time. When asked why she didn't say no to the act, she explained, I was squeamish immediately, but high in the moment. That's about it. You don't have a lot of control at that moment. Ventura also detailed the ritualistic nature of the freak-offs, sharing that Combs insisted baby oil be used throughout the encounters. Sean wanted it heated and he wanted it to be glistening, so we applied every 5 minutes, she said, recalling a pool filled with baby oil at the Montage Beverly Hills where one of the encounters took place. According to her, up to 10 bottles of baby oil were used during these sessions, which also included condoms and lubricant often delivered by staff or brought by Ventura if planned at the last minute. In her emotional testimony, Ventura broke down at several points, especially when describing how she once loved Combs and tried to stay in his good graces. I didn't want him to be upset or not trust me, she said. He was a very scary person. He would be violent. So there was a lot of testimony by her, but that was pretty much the gist of it. She's not saying that I took it as she's not saying that she didn't participate in these things. She's saying that she didn't want to do these things, but she did it because she loved him. And a lot of the times, according to her, she was drugged out of her mind. And according to her, that Diddy had her drugged on all these different types of things. And she had to be that way in order to go through with everything in order to please him. So I think what the prosecution is trying to do is to set up the whole scene as how much control Diddy actually had over her life. And the way that it looked like he controlled everything about her life. It it was a situation where she said at one point that she did try to leave, and the assistant or something like that, or bodyguard found her, always would find her. So there were a whole bunch of different situations like that. Um, so you guys, and I did see a lot of people in certain comments when I was checking out other stories that people had that actually had gone to the trial or their own reports, and a lot of people were saying how she was a willing participant, and I don't think she was saying that she wasn't participating in these things, but she said there was a lot of times she didn't want to do these things, and then she would actually tell Diddy that she didn't want to do these things, but she was so afraid of him and afraid of what he would do to her if she didn't, or like I said, she was high all the time, and things like that. So a lot of things went into play with this. Um, but the whole situation was just really sad, and no, with him being freaky and stuff like that, no, that wasn't a crime. But I think what they're trying to do is set up the situation and remember, it's only day 2. So I think they're just trying to set us up with the situation, how much control they had over her life. But it also showed how they would be into different states. They would go to different states, and it seemed like I heard something about them going um, international. They did something internationally, so that might go into the whole sex trafficking thing. So I'm sure they'll get more into that as the trial goes along. So that might be where the crime situation comes along, and then they start talking about people getting paid, and um, people calling to get workers to do this and that. And it got a little more deep into it. So we're going to hear more about that. And I think that's where the crime is. But I think they just wanted us to know what kind of person Diddy actually is and how much, like I said, how much control he had. So, anyways, guys, that's all that I have for today. We'll talk a little bit more about it tomorrow. Talk to you later. Bye bye.